It's the time to get down.
Welcome. Good morning. Long time. I didn't call in because the phone was
Wake up, it's a brand new day. Let's get down on the good news train. Have your morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Get the 311 before the morning's done. Laugh until you cry. You can always rely on morning coffee with Mario every Monday.
Yes.
Morning coffee with Mario.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I know some mornings I'm a bit disorganized. Welcome, everybody, to Morning Coffee with Mario, the live reality AM talk show that comes to you weekly. And I'm here with my partner in crime, the very gifted and talented Mr. Victor Allen, everybody. Give
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Three Switchers.
Yeah.
Social media extreme. Social.
And a backpack. You know how it is, man.
Hey, we got news. Okay, first of all, Alexa, drum roll.
You're right. Youngstown, New York calling. Youngstown, New York.
Man, everything's going on.
Hey, bro, you know how it is, bro.
Okay.
You know how it is.
We have a trouble. Tell you guys it's that kind of morning in Morning Coffee because we love it because we have all the wonderful technology and we also have wonderful artificial intelligence. Alexa, sing good morning.
Good morning.
Bitch. Excuse me.
Ooh,
I didn't mean
I
that.
heard that, man.
It's artificially intelligent.
Yeah, I understand.
If I can cuss at anybody, it's a robot.
Bad practice.
All right, I'll pray. Alexa, sing good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
All right, there you go. See. You guys, it's Monday. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. First of all, I got to tell you, a lot of new things going on. We're continuing on with, I hope you are continuing with your New Year's resolutions. And I'm continuing also with my New Year's resolutions. I want you to know it's very important to do these resolutions because they, they keep, and I have extensive goals. Alexa, what's my to-do list?
You have 6 items on your to-do list. Here are the 5 most recent. Do's. Remember to keep toilet seat up.
Damn, I forget that.
Finish watching every Flintstone episode.
Okay, close on that.
Sleep in the wet spot.
No.
Scratch and sniff. Would you like to hear your last item?
Yes, please.
You have 6 items on your to-do list.
Oh,
Here
Alexa,
are the 5 most...
quit. Lord.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
As you can see, it's artificially intelligent. So, but it's helping us. And I hope you're continuing with your resolutions. We all are continuing to make growth in the new year, and that's what it's all about so far. 2018, this is our second show of the new year and the whole new season. It's all about growth and change. So we've been doing that. We've got a bunch of new stuff. One, I want to congratulate Vic. Mac McAllister, 77 years young, has continued with growth and improvement, and that now his show is a full video show. That's the pre-show for Pax Stereo TV. Now full video. And
Animated video.
Animated video.
Gotcha.
Every week.
Oh, gotcha.
Full
Okay,
1 hour.
congratulations.
Full 1 hour.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's pretty good. So you got to give it
yeah.
up. We'll give him a...
No, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it.
Dick
I
just
like
says when they get to see you, because that's what he's talking about.
Hey, look, man. I like. They want to see the man behind all the animation, right?
We want to see the man behind that.
Yeah, man.
Well, what can I say? Hey, bunch of stuff coming up. Tomorrow night, The Quiet Storm. The live interactive DJ experience, you guys. Theme for tomorrow night, Jazzmatazz. I'm bringing you the hot, jazzy, and I say jazzy. It's not necessarily jazz. So it's the hot, jazzy mix of the season. Good, cozy stuff. So you're going to love it. Get together with somebody significant or even someone insignificant and enjoy the quiet storm, the live interactive DJ experience. On Friday, we have the full Friday night agenda, and this Friday, we're going to be starting at 7:30. We did last week too. We're starting at 7:30 with the whole Friday night agenda. Pre-show starts at 6:30. So the Friday night agenda starts at 7:30, and we have a new show premiering this Friday at 7:30, Music and Mary Jane. So it's all about music and information about weed. So Friday at 7:30, Music and Mary Jane. All the music is free, Creative Commons music. And we're going to be talking about this Friday, we're going to be actually going into, in more depth, what we're going to be talking about today. Because today, in the Marijuana for Dummies segment, we're going to be talking about vaping. And since vaping's a big issue, we're going to break it down. Okay, because it's a big issue, guys. This is the hottest stuff. The new ways to smoke weed. So today in Marijuana for Dummies, I'm actually going to be introducing you to the concept of vaping, telling you my personal opinions and why. Not that you need to agree, but just so you can understand why. And on Friday, on Music and Mary Jane, we'll be doing extensive vaping while listening to some good music. What can I say? Music and vaping. All right, other things to tell you. Today we got our topics lined up. For good news, bad news, and the other shit, I'm going to be talking about the shutdown continuing. The dreamers are worrying and America is still suffering. Still going on. I just went to check. As far as I know, right now, the government is still shut down. So, the government is still shut. Okay. The government is still shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Marijuana for Dummies, I told you we're going to be talking about reasons to maintain your medical marijuana status. Why it may be advantageous for you in this era of recreational marijuana to maintain medical marijuana status. And also, again, the introduction to vaping. Just a brief intro today. Okay. In sports, Vic, you got some good stuff coming up.
Repeat offenders, expectations, and then the letdowns. Let me just say this. I know everybody's watching the Patriots game, and I know a lot of the Jaguars, known as Saxonville, was doing their job, got to Brady. What they didn't do is simply this. If you're in the first half and you have about a minute to go, and you say, well, we ain't going to try to do anything else. Let's just end the half. Right there, you set the tone for somebody going like this. So you guys absolutely are giving up a minute. People actually played down to the last 10 seconds. So we're going to talk about, was that the move that set the trend, that energized the Patriots to go like, imagine Tom Brady having 55 seconds left in the first half. We'll talk about that. Minneapolis, I'm sad for you. But if you barely squeaked by New Orleans, then the hype was a little extra. And Philadelphia is better than we expected. Oh, just to let you know also, Blake Bortles did outpass Tom Brady. But it's when the passes count. Hot picks. I was going to go into this area anyway, man, because I just thought it was the place to be because I followed the evolution, although it's those that sit back at home and just got to bang it out on those video games, man. How did 2017 rate? And we're going to find out, if you're not a player, which game sounds enticing enough for you to say, no, that's where I want to be at. That's your hot picks, man.
Well, it's looking good to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a full show for you guys today. Stay tuned to be part of it. You know what's happening. We're going to it's time for you to have a musical break. And so I'll give you this latest slideshow animation, and then we'll be right back. You know, I love making these slideshows. This is from the end of last season.
Been a long, long time since I spoke to you, and I know that there's no rhyme or reason to what you put me through. So I take your promises and all the memories, and I play them back 'cause I can't breathe. And you are so captivating, and you are the answer to my dream. You are the only reason, and I know I fall to pieces when you speak. And you are so captivating, and you are the answer to my dream. You are all around me, and I know I fall to pieces when you speak to me. The times you came and you went away, I have learned to love no matter what you say. Though the world's a stage and we are standing round, we can change the way we live right out loud. And you are so captivating, and you are the answer to my plea. And you are the only reason, and I know I fall to pieces when you speak. And you are so captivating, and you are the answer to my dream. You are all around me, and I know I fall to pieces when you speak to me. People grow and feelings show. Answers come when you're searching. When you're searching, and you are so captivating, and you are the answer to my plea. And you are the only reason, and I know I fall to pieces when you speak. And you are so captivating, and you are the answer to my dream. You are all around me, and I know I fall to pieces when you speak to me. And I know I fall to pieces when you speak to me. And I know I fall to pieces when you speak to me.
Yeah. Gotta acknowledge that. I know you like the song. That song, you guys, Oh, shoot. Oh, so good it has to repeat. That song is part of the Creative Commons movement, which is a movement amongst artists to make their music more available to you. If they make it available to you for free and to freely spread around to your friends while retaining any of their rights of commercial use. You got to check it out. So that song and this music that I use here online is part of the Creative Commons movement. And that's why we use it. And that one is Pieces of Mandalay. We love that piece. So we got to give it. I know you guys like it. Hey, shout out to Nikki Kolovic. My hair. You guys take a look. I don't know if you can see
Oh,
it.
they get good look. That's cool.
I want you to see it because that represents a lot of pain. Pain. No, and she's very. I mean, she's considered gentle and fast, but you know when you have locks like this, each one has to be tightened. Every single one has to be pulled through the base over and over, a little hook tool, and tightened down. So every one. So she has to condition it, color it, because you know I get that little rinse.
You doing the beauty tips right now, bro?
That's right.
Well, why don't you call it something else?
It's Miles Beauty Tips. Because I get compliments because of my hair now, man. Now that I get compliments, I'm soaking it up. So I know you just jealous.
Hey, no, brother, I'm mad
You
jealous.
have to, see,
I have the mad
you have
jealous.
the best bald head. When I remember the time I shaved my head,
Yeah.
and you remember everybody
Yeah.
was like, my mother, everybody. Everybody said, everybody was like,
Trying, man. We're trying.
don't do that again.
Right.
They were like, no, that's not you. No, but your head, so some people have a head.
And some people
That's,
don't.
you know, you have one of them heads. Show them your head, Vic.
If they haven't
Take a look at
wait a
his
minute,
head.
if they haven't seen it now, if they haven't
Look at
seen
his
it now,
Now, the
it's
lady
too late.
Say, rub his head and make a wish.
Yeah, that's jacked up. Hey,
That
look.
was Danny, I think. Was
Hey,
that
look.
Danny?
Danny, few other. Hey, look.
Sexual chocolate.
But it's a default position versus the preferred decision. And I'm saying this for a reason. I couldn't wait for the style that you're wearing to transition the way bald heads did. In other words, people would question, why the hell are you doing that? And I'm not going to tell you how long ago it was, because I got the same thing. What you got from people, my bosses, everybody was going, what the hell did you do to your head?
Oh, when you first
Oh,
cut
yeah.
it?
When I first cut it from
I
the
can't remember
conservative.
when you first cut it.
It was early 90s, man. Early. That far back. Early. And I remember my employers and people going, they looking at me crazy, man. And then it changes. Of course.
Bald Head Chronicle.
Yeah. Now it's.
Bald Head
But you
Chronicle.
guys, with the locks, the twists, the braids, now it's become fashionable and preferred, bro.
I have to admit it, I get attention. It seems to be because of my hair, because the attention is the kind I never got before now. And even when I did lose the weight, because I did, you know, people know I lost about 50 pounds.
Right.
Now I gained about 10 pounds back, I think. But anyway, you know, the hair and the attention I got from the hair was a big deal. For all y'all shallow people, y'all made me shallow.
Oh, that's
'cause I couldn't
jacked
help
up.
but like it. How you not like it?
That's
When
jacked,
women
man.
compliment you. Like, you know what I mean, women compliment, they actually come up, oh, your hair, you just,
You know what?
ooh.
I'm telling you this.
And I'd be like, well, ooh.
I tell you when the changes come, and I hope it happens. Not that you guys got to watch politics, Congress, the Senate, the House. I'm waiting for the first on either side. Doesn't matter what color. I'm waiting for the first senator. First, whatever. Long hair, twists, braids. I don't care. We call it Cajun. What I don't care. I'm waiting for the first one to step up
Maybe
because you
me.
guys get on my
Senator
nerves.
Mario
I can't
Hemsley.
stand that conservative saying. Oh man, I can't take. Somebody get some fashion statements with him, man. Just try. Send him a pic, Vic. Send him a pic.
Well, it's time to send a pic. So, speaking of which, it's time to acknowledge our Facebook friends. So, we're going to break out, I try not to overuse it. See, we have special tools, and I try not to overuse the magic looking glass, but I have it, and it's powerful shit. The magic looking glass. Oh, wrong, see? Wrong. Man, see, that's what happened. You know what happened? Okay, you guys, I'm off today because it all started with me getting on the phone. But let's use the magic looking glass. Magic looking glass. Let them know we see that. Being good is such a task. That's why we love our looking glass. So now we're going to use the magic looking glass to look at the truth. First of all, I can see who's out there, Vic. I can see who's out there, and I see PMC is out there, Mac McAllister. I don't know what they're doing. Got both hands in their pockets. They're not counting change. I see it's Mac, PMC. And we're going to look further in the looking glass. I can see Lorraine D, Karen Quinn, Gloria Craig. What's happening? Hey, Mario Picasso. What's happening, Mario? My namesake. Nico Williams, Jose Marzo, Alan Lattimore, Nils Gibner. Oh, Wendy Jones, Wendy Bautista. Wow, Beverly Norris, Marvin Smith, my brother from another mother. Oh, Ronald Spears, Elena Sangit, Meredith Beer. What's happening, Meredith? I'm McCoy today. Kim Walter Rucker, cousin. Y'all, I can tell you. Jose Venegas, Lachelle Sargent, Sarah Lynn Mandel. What's happening, Charlotte Schlosser? Happy birthday, Daryl Burks, Lenore Fry. Hey, it's everybody. Ashley Lee, Cassie Daney, Milan Phillips. Happy birthday, you too. Michael McIntosh, Scott Hill, Christine Fisher, Milan Phillips. Everybody, and so many people. The Magic Looking Glass, Lan Hodges. We see y'all. Some of y'all, my friends, you're nasty. You gotta stop that stuff. Wash your hands. Cause that's the way it is here at the Magic Looking Glass. I don't know if I can look anymore. We want to thank you, and we'll be there next week. Magic Looking Glass. Watch your ass. There it is. The Magic Looking Glass. All right. Gotta put it away. Kind of thing, you don't want to leave it out. Gotta put it back in the case. You never know. Shit happens.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we're going to come back and do some news. You know, I like to give you little musical pieces that are just wonderful. Oh, Lord. It's rough. Take a look.
Love, the electrifying.
Come on, what are you having this morning? Get your coffee, your bran muffins. Take a sip. Take a smoke. Coming back and do some news, y'all. Government shutdown.
Shedding a glow.
Government shutdown.
Healing your soul. From love arises a booming energy, sending the world a message in a bottle. There is more to show. As the love grows and kicks into full throttle, the fused unit produces a message that becomes a more powerful whole, even more powerful than the love in full.
We go here.
Come on, y'all.
We go there.
Frazzled.
We go where?
I got early morning
We'll
call.
find it.
Guys, I had to help a friend.
Again we search until we see how it is. We'll never be free, 'cause we make goals, we make plans, we make love, we take stands, 'cause we know our time is short. We make the best of what we bought. But tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? Oh, tell me and we search until we see that we will never be free. But where? But tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? Oh, tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? But tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? Oh, tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? Oh, tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? Oh, tell me where
Wow, love that song, Love Shadow, featuring Melody Romancito and Silkwords. Love that track. We feature it so often. Remember, you can go get that free. It's part of the Creative Commons movement, which we support. You can go get it free today. Vic, you know, Facebook is really getting more and more active. I'm putting a little bit more time into, you know, getting the stuff at Facebook. It's become more the centering point, I guess, because that's where they're at. You know, we're broadcasting a bunch of different places.
Right.
But, you know, it seems that certain of the folks, they seem to enjoy the Facebook. Scott Hill just stopped in.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm just acknowledging that we have 4,556 members now at Pax Stereo TV, along with 2,304 members at Club Pax Stereo.
Oh, yeah. That's good, man. Hey, look, I'm waiting for one of our members to run for Congress.
No comment. Maybe one of them has.
Hey, man, you know, do something. Be something. Be somebody.
Maybe one of them has. You know, I don't know. Maybe one of them. Okay. But I'm moving right along. I think we're ready for today because there's so much going on. I was trying to check, you guys. I was trying to check to see if there was any new developments, but as far as I could tell, there are none. Ladies and gentlemen, while it may be shut down, we are working. And we're bringing you the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. The government shutdown, everybody, no joke. You know, this says a lot to do, you know, about the president's attitude. He, you know, we know that he does not really care about so much of the traditions, and this will be another one. So here you are. He wants to make the deal, and so we are now in the middle of shutdown. Take a look. I have a nice graphic for that. But yes, it's real. The government is closed. Shutdown. Now, what does that mean? Okay, I had to go look because, like a lot of us, it doesn't mean anything if it doesn't impact your pocketbook. So you have to go look for people whose pocketbooks are affected. So officially, government workers are furloughed. I mean, they're sent home without pay. Now, I don't know. I remember in the past there's been different political movements to pay them retroactively. But what I understand, Vic, is if you work for a consultant under a contract, right, you may not get any retroactive anything. In other words, if you work directly for the government, sometimes after these things, there's initiatives to pay you, blah, blah, blah. So usually armed services workers,
Right.
those kinds of folks get paid. But if you work for a consultant, of which the government has many consultants, a lot of consultants, thousands of people working as consultants, then you may not get paid, and that company is not under any specific obligation to pay you, do
Right.
catch-up pay,
The YF.
any of that stuff.
It's called the YF.
Yeah,
You
so
know-
you may be. It's interesting. I had some folks on Facebook who posted that they had been affected before in previous shutdowns of government.
Right. They have. They have.
You know, that it affected their.
Isn't it a shame, though? There are exceptions, such as air traffic controllers. Well, okay, wait a minute. Let me stop. So what they're saying is this. Oh, I'm sorry. During the shutdown, isn't it true that they have it in the Constitution that I think Congress continuously gets paid? Oh, so you guys don't get the YF.
Always.
You know what the YF is? You're fucked. Now, that's what I call it.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
And they're rich anyway.
right.
And got a tax break.
Right.
So while they're rich and got a tax break, you home from work and you don't know if you're getting paid.
Well, you know what?
Some of you may get paid later.
No.
I put up a picture too at the parks. You know what happens if you work at the parks? Then look at the signs that are up. Government shutdown. The parks. Now that means the vendor at the park. Let's say you sell hot dogs at the park. You broke.
Go vegan.
Now, what about the guy, you the vendor who sells hot dogs at the park, but you got a guy who comes and works with you every day to help you with the vending at the park. And so all of a sudden, he doesn't have work. So now he doesn't have work. You don't have work because you at the park with the hot dogs. And you can't hire your man, your boy. So the little people, see, there's a ton. What's amazing is a ton of those stories, right, of the little people who get affected. So what are you saying?
I guess the Congress don't get fucked. So
No.
this is what I'm saying. Not one of you stepped up and said, you know what, I'm going to forego my pay because I'm going to show the American people. So let's just do this because I love this. You know, I love this part when every freaking politician steps up and says, well, the American people have spoke. So I'll do this. I'll set up this Twitter handle. Nobody's going to pay attention to me. And sit back and say, X, Y, Z. I ain't going to tell you what it is. I don't want to give it up first. And I said, so I guess none of you guys are going to forego your pay on either side of the
hell
aisle.
no.
So at this point, please stop telling me what the American people are saying because obviously you go, well, I'm going to keep getting paid. I don't know about you guys, right? So the YF is in full effect, man. So
Wow.
you can keep letting them know.
So there it goes. The government is continuing to day 3 now. Understand what happened. Because this is the part that's most important to understand about the politics, I guess. All right. Okay, so the CHIPS, which is the Children's Health, I think it's Children's Health Insurance Program, which insures a lot of children, a lot. That is something that's supported bipartisan. Okay? Even DACA, okay, which is for the dependent children, you know, who come here, children of immigrants. Even that's supported. But the president had threatened even before in the campaign to let the government shut down when he realized he needed to use this as a negotiating deal. What's so bad is that he had already in public said that he would accept what other deal till people started whispering in his ear, no, you don't want to do that. So he reneged on his own deal. Schumer said that the president wrote down a number on paper that he wanted for the wall. And Schumer said he accepted that number.
Yeah.
And the president came back and reneged because his people told him. So his people tell him, you made a bad deal. And he goes back and says, oh, I changed the deal. He changed the money he wanted for the wall.
The 1/6 rule, that's what they call it. In other words, 1.6 billion. He wanted all the money. Schumer comes in and says, you get 1/6 of that over 10 years, whatever. I said, wait a minute. Let me just try to figure this out. Let me figure this out. Does anybody remember the 2013 shutdown?
They never remember you. Like I said, you
So,
don't remember unless you got her. But remember,
I'm not choosing.
according to the story, though, no, Schumer. It wasn't that Schumer offered him 1.6. He said the president wrote down a number.
I know.
And he accepted that number. And he
and
won't say what that number was.
And the number is, can I have all the cash?
But he
right
agreed
now.
to the president's number.
Right. So I'm not.
That's the biggest deal. He agreed to it.
Look, that's deal making. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. If you were part of the 2013, what's the difference if you were unable to get paid, no matter what side of the aisle you're on?
You broke.
You are YF'd.
You're fucked.
That's right. So it all depends on what you look at. I say, imagine the people going, I'm going through this again, 2013. It didn't make no difference which president was in charge. At the time, YF'd.
Well, there you go. Well, Mac McAllister chimes in from Facebook. Fuck her or the fuck he. Mac, you know. Mac.
Hey, look, hey.
Hello there, Loja. She's commenting too about me smoking. Hey, so you need to be smoking in days like this, Loja. I said, this is 420 friendly. I'm saying, yeah. You know? All right, so you're fucked. Keep in mind, if you're trying to go to the park, anything, a lot of places are in D.C. A lot of people, I guess they were talking, it makes sense that the Virginia area, which is right around D.C., they have a lot, like they said they had like 800,000 people affected. Right. That affects the grocery store. That affects everything in the area.
Everything, parks, recreation, the squirrels can't get nuts.
They said it's like a huge number or something in the immediate D.C. area that are affected. So that affects the whole D.C. area economy.
They pawn you to death. At the end of the day, while they're representing the people, they go, we got to use the people. So what we're going to do, we're going to take some off the board. You know, don't pay them. Don't pay them and blame them. Okay. Ain't nobody taking money off of your side of the aisle, right? No, not at all. Hey, look. You know, they're already staging that there's an agreement that's about to go up today. And they're already saying, hey, look, at most this will be a 3 business day shutdown because there's going to be an agreement. And it's going to be tailored as if, you know, the Democrats didn't get ultimately what they want. And the blame game is full effect. So at the end of the day, you get docked 3 days pay. You make up for that, right? You ain't got to worry about it. You know, people who need services, people need all those things. It's not important, man. Like I said, you know, it's just 3 days.
Yeah, what if
That's it, right? That's all it is.
Our prayers go out to you if you're being affected. We're going to keep following this issue, as everybody is following it. Again, some of us are not affected, therefore we're kind of insulated, but to remind you of the numbers of people that are affected.
It's sad, man.
All right. The weekend sparked a historic event, Vic. It was the reoccurrence of the historic Women's March. Again, this time organized in 2 separate days with separate focuses.
Right.
Well, the second day, I believe, to roll out the vote.
Right.
As opposed, but a wonderful event. Is the women's movement now official was the big question. Because now, you know, one of the things is that you had a lot of leadership available, different factions. That's always been part of the issue.
Right.
As it still is part of the issue, the women who don't support abortion rights, whether abortion rights are big parts of the, historically that's part of the women's movement, but it's a defining part that separates out a bunch of women, whether or not you're pro-life or not.
True.
There's more pro-life folks present. In the past, they said, I've been following this, and even though I don't have a good feel for exactly how it's working, but supposedly there's been efforts to reach out to pro-life groups, and there were some pro-life groups that I saw in some cities on Saturday. But the whole thing is now people are talking about the women's movement as an official thing. In a way, well, even though you always wonder what makes you official, because what made the civil rights movement official? who deems you official.
Right.
Certainly not the authorities that be.
Right.
You have to sort of self-actualize, right? You have to say, I exist, therefore I am.
Right.
But there's the women's movement with the back, because what they're specifically planning, they say, especially with the roll out the vote, was to impact the upcoming elections. Even though my predictions that the Trump presidency will already be in full-fledged meltdown way before the November elections. And now we're in 2018.
Right.
I'm predicting full-fledged because once Mueller comes with his stuff, we enter full meltdown mode.
Yeah.
We're going to enter full. That's not too far. It could be soon or it could be in a few months, but I'm saying it's going to be sooner rather than later. And I would tell you certainly before summer,
Right.
you're going to hear from Mueller. So the elections are going to be affected. But the
Yeah.
women's movement, quote unquote, part of their goal is to have dealing with women issues come to the forefront.
Oh, it is. It
So
is.
maybe it's time. We
Yeah.
were talking about that. You were talking about, just the changes in the media.
Oh yeah, yeah. I literally, I just hope it becomes normalcy that the equality landscape is normal and not the exceptional. It's going to take a while, and I'm in full support of their efforts. I'm not choosing to sit back and say you don't have the right, as if your claim is a minority and not the populace. You have the right to have the choice to be recognized equally. Majority does not also say it has to represent your inclusion or exclusion. It's just the idea that you should be equally represented by a voice, whether you're a minority or not. I was down at the march for the one in LA, so I went down there this weekend. Fully evolved in a different way, in the sense that the message is, kind of, wow, it's evolving. It's really evolving. Different, the tagging, Meagle was full blown in it. You know how she is. She's full blown. And you got to support the women. If you're going to support, you support. Even if I don't have a voice, be there to support. And so she was having too much fun. Messages. So just how big it was. Oh,
Well, it's mobilizing people. It's educating all of us.
right.
I mentioned to people,
Wait a minute.
it's
let me
an
take
adjustment,
one
but
with
let it be an
We on
adjustment.
Facebook.
We'll get there. It's an adjustment for me, too.
y'all. That part. Ooh, she
She's
cute.
cute.
That part. Yes.
It's like those brothers trying to capitalize on the women's movement.
Taking
Like you
photos.
see him on Saturday Live, he had on the shirt,
Taking
girls,
photos.
girls, girls.
Right.
That's like
Yeah.
us. I hate to say that would have been me and my
That's right,
boys.
see?
Yeah, we
Oh,
support y'all.
flag.
Can we get that number?
part.
Can we get
Ooh,
that?
got it.
Can we get-
Right. Check out her
Can we
outfit.
get that number?
So cute. Ah.
Hey, I'm not going to
That's
say
right.
anything.
We here downtown LA, Pershing Square. Yep. See that?
Citizen journalism. This is one of the things about this. The folks who are reporting are the ones who are out there involved in the movement. So you guys,
Yeah.
They even got
Yes.
the
did
Me
you
Too
drive?
shirts.
You
I'm gonna show
drove
the
down there?
Yeah, she drove down there, and we
Where you
said,
had to park far?
no, not really, not far as you think. What you enjoy is the perimeter of how much
That's
the
right.
movement of people are moving to and from. So for
What else
me,
they have? Did I see the Me Too shirt?
you just go down there, get yourself
Even got
around,
the
say
Me
about
Too
4 or
shirts.
5 blocks away from it. You enjoy that because there's so many people.
I didn't
Yeah,
see
that
a
part.
picture of you in the pink hat.
Oh no, that ain't happening.
That would have been good.
I don't know,
to
man.
see.
Because the
That
pink,
would have been a photo op.
because the pink has evolved. Do you know that message of pink? They had a story on that about, in some ways, that kind of puts this real feminine touch to
Okay.
it. Now, I'm not disagreeing
Yeah,
or
a lot
not.
of people
I-
here.
yeah,
They're literally
From the
saying,
song.
let's go beyond just
And
it
it just
being
so happened
pink.
to be
Let it be
on
more
the
than
day
just a
of the
pink
government
thing,
shutdown.
identifying
That's
pink.
funny.
But I want to get into the story.
You got women walking around with banners talking about bitches can do it better. Wow.
See, this is
You
what
run
I'm
so
saying.
many
This is what I'm
ways
saying.
with that one. I don't know what to say. Right. I don't know, but I'm gonna show you the shirt. How much a shirt?
Takes all types to make
$10.
up a
Come get
movement.
it from what's your name? From Chris, that's right. Come get your shirt, 10 bucks down here on Hill Street in 5th in LA. That's right. All right, see that? Ah.
You know what I recognize
Okay.
too? Lack, you don't have that big policing enforcement. There's a real comfort zone.
Because it's the women, they don't have all the police. See, it's a sexual bias, you guys, but okay.
Yes, it's true.
You know, if it was the black woman, my
stop.
movement, it would be a lot of
Stop
black
it.
cops.
Stop.
Let's say it's the white, if they want to say it's really not the black, it's the non-black women's march. Even though black women are here, so that affects the policing.
Here you
You
go.
know it's the truth, it affects the policing.
Yeah, see.
You start breaking out,
You know.
police start saying, have a nice day.
We are the world. Come on, man.
Cheers,
Stop it.
kumbaya.
Stop. You would be rushing down there at 25, 30 years of age and not having any opinions of that particular position. You know that.
Now you saw it.
It's all over if that goes down.
And say it again.
It's all over if the press goes down.
That's right. And it happened to be on Shutdown.
Oh, they also
Shutdown.
strong
Turn
stance
around
on
now. Turn
the
around.
press,
Say hey.
backing the press.
Hey, don't be a dick, yo. It's easy.
Told y'all.
She broke that down. Don't be a dick.
Police are over there posted up. Check them out. They ain't trying to stop nothing. They not trying to do nothing. They chilling on the wall. They not paying up for nothing.
Nico got on your shirt.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Official
yeah.
Pax Stereo
Oh yeah, she
guard.
was going like cold. I need
That's
something
the official Pax Stereo guard.
Had to do it.
Yeah.
Let me get this. Wait a minute. Go on and represent, girl. Go on and represent. Say it. Say
Okay,
it.
so what are women are?
You need to
We
say
need
it.
you. Women
Women
are
First thing that comes to mind,
The
right?
shit.
Yeah! The shit.
and we need your partner.
Okay. Right there. I signed it. That's
We would have probably had women that would have made us
That's
come
right.
down
I love
here.
it.
You smell great.
Girl, I
Smells
smell
great.
good.
You can't smell her, but she
All right,
smells
you have to come coming, honey. Baby, have to be there supporting
To
you.
clarify, also just to clarify, women get shit done. I just want to
Yeah, women get shit done.
Time's up, motherfuckers.
Told y'all.
Yeah, these are white women cussing.
She said
They
time
say
up,
that-
motherfuckers. Wow. That's it.
That's-
And it just happened to be on
I'm
Shutdown Day
shocked.
for government. Right? Like,
I'm
right?
shocked.
Can you believe that?
That's funny.
Time was shut down for a fucking reason.
own fragrance. It's called
You talking about my perfume?
These girls. That's Nico Williams, everybody, live on the scene. Big rally.
Yeah, I try to, I was going, this is the Women's Day. Let me try to stay out of it as much as possible.
Bluebird. Yeah, right. Much love, girls. Woo! Well, we're down here, downtown LA. Persian Gulf, yeah. The Square and Hill off of 5th. Down here, well, not Persian Gulf, but Persian Square. My bad. I must be thinking military. Lord have mercy. But you know how it go. Yeah. See that? People still marching from down there. They still got a lot of activity going down over here at the Square. The cops are chilling on the wall. They're like, right there.
Look at it. See, look at that.
You got the
They're like
youth
on the
down
wall,
here
chilling
taking
out.
a stands for a perfect
the hell?
cause, and it's just all good. It's a lot of unity with the women. You got guys out here hanging out besides the obvious, trying to get, they
All
the
the
little
women.
digits and pickup
We are
lines.
men. That, all
But
the
you do
women.
have some guys down here that's supporting the cause as well. Good intentions.
I'm
But
a
yeah,
hetero.
down here, they even got a Trump flag. Look at that, walking with it.
I
Lord.
can't help it. You got all the women.
You'll see me post a picture, just FYI, with my little Saudi friends. They got a Persian, Donald Trump shirt on with a big cross of X over it. I was like, okay, I definitely got to pick a picture of that. They got the little turban wraps on, so they representing. So we ain't no terrorists, just so y'all don't get it twisted when I do post a picture and y'all don't start acting ignorant. Because that's what they would do, right? Be like, me too. I'll be like, no, let me clear my throat. For that.
They got his turban picture.
So yeah, everybody's down here is really big. It's nice. It's peaceful. Nobody's fighting. Nobody's arguing. People are showing unity. They're showing love. They're getting together. They're voicing their opinions. They're having mini street conversations. Good cause. Everybody's out here having a good time. It's sunny and out here as well. And we still got people bringing out their little dogs, dressing their pets up, and you know, wearing the pink hats. They even got people wearing all black for the blackout, you know, and for the shutdown, just in case you didn't know. But I think that's it right now. For those who didn't catch the information or who've been here, thanks for supporting it, and we out. Bye.
All right, give it up, everybody, for Miko Williams. Give it up on the scene. Give it up on the scene. Nice work, Vic. Nice work.
Yeah. You know that. What I found to be really interesting, man, is it's just, man, the message has just evolved, man. It's almost like they're in a different space, and I'm not saying that it's not the same as it was last year. You just find them going, okay, once we got past this, you know, this point of, hey, we just need to be recognized for this one subject. Now it's kind of blossomed. It's multi, you know, it's all these different things. It's not just either or. It's not like, oh, if you're not part of our movement, hey, we're not recognizing that. There's sub movements and recognition. I was going, and everybody's in Happyville. And I couldn't just I said, wow, you have to follow online to kind of get a sense of all these multiple messages, mostly with women. And not just the hardcore ones, you know, hey, you know, it's, you know, don't be a dick and all that. It's way more than that. It's just, you just had to be there is different than what you see in that video. It's really different because there are multiple messages. I said, and they're not mad. There's nobody mad. I didn't see anyone just mad. I was going,
you know, that's an interesting point, too. Interesting point. Nobody mad. Women's movement, these things that you're attending, do have a different tone. Got to acknowledge that. That's a woman thing, but they're also about the business of getting things done.
Yep.
They do it in a way that's different from men, and it's something that we can all grow more used to on the male side.
Right.
I guess gotta commend you and Miko for getting out.
Oh, yeah.
That whole. First of all, they don't even know to the extent you and I are working on improving, right, our citizen journalism capabilities.
Right.
What we've been working on to get ready to get out there more in the streets. So I got to commend you and Miko, one, for being out there, Vic, and really doing this, capturing that segment. So nice, and again, everybody's loving it online too.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, it's great. Hers is really about, you know, it was really about bonding with that community of empowerment. And I thought at the same time, I even told her, I said, hey, look, this is not about, oh, I'm Vic down here. I'm just going to witness and pay attention so I can gather in the environment. Now, I did have a little video, but it's not for what you think it is. It's my personal experience of looking at, whoa, I didn't know something here existed of this magnitude. And I said, this is for my own personal edification. I'm going to shoot this. This is just for me, because I said, wow. Had nothing to do specifically with the movement. So that was the part that I was trying to say, is that you go by your motivation. You just don't do it just because you're down there. I didn't say, oh, look, let me tell everybody I'm down here. This is Vic. I wasn't doing that. I said, this is an experience. You got to be down there. And it's like anything else. I said, you won't know what it's like to be in the locker room with the fellas playing ball or professional sports or any type of competitive sports if you only are a reporter just reporting. Ain't good enough, ain't close enough. You got to be there. So that's why I was there, man.
Bravo. Oh, wrong. Man, I'm telling you, it's all because you mess with me. It's all because they mess with me, Vic.
That's okay, man. You good, man. You just got to let them know that you have multiple things on your mind right now.
I got multiple things on my mind right now. The good news. The bad news. The other shit. Yes. We're going to be right back. Marijuana for Dummies. Remember talking about vaping. And also we're going to talk about why you should keep your card if you have one. Be right back.
When you walked away, it was the saddest day that the world has known. you say you need me, standing at the door, asking if you can come in, and I can't say no, no, I can't say no. You and I just can't say goodbye. Every time we do, well, it's just another lie. I know you're no good for me, but every time I'm with you, there's nowhere I'd rather be. We've been to hell, been burned by the flames of a pain so deep that even the strongest God in the heavens would kneel and weep. But here I lie, pressed against your skin, right where I wanna be. You're the sweetest sin. You and I just can't say goodbye. Every time we do, well, it's just another lie. I know you're no good for me, but every time I'm with you, there's nowhere I'd rather be.
Yes. Drunk at a smoky bar, drinking an Imperial Porter mix. That's the sound of Laswell. Free Creative Commons music. Drunk at a smoky bar, drinking an Imperial Porter mix. Okay, so Vic, watching the show, people are commenting. Meredith's there. Meredith, I know I saw some of y'all, when okay, I gotta call Meredith back. I finally got them gunning today.
Right.
I had to make calls before the start of the show. I had so many people backed up. So Meredith, I know I got you. I love you, brother. So I'll call you after the show. But one of the other people commenting on the show, named Loja, which is Laredo Shepherd, commented and said he wanted a formal shout out. So I went and took a look at his Facebook profile.
Right.
Actor, SAG, register, whatever.
Oh,
so
good.
everybody take a look. We're going to go on and give Laredo Shepherd a shout out. Lives in LA, went to Roosevelt High School. He's from Chicago.
Oh, that's cool.
So I showed him too, because he's obviously doing something big.
Better.
So you can take a look at his profile. Look at this, you guys. He's doing something. Looking at him, I'm saying, if he was like me in LA, I know what he's trying to do.
Oh, big up. All right, share that link, man.
In
Share that
LA,
link.
chasing those.
Yeah, stop.
Looking at his profile. But,
Okay, good.
So you never know. I bring this up because you never know who might be a guest one day.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we say that. That's true.
Have them,
So give the brother, give it, go on. That's
right.
Let's everybody go on and give it up for the brother.
Yeah, man. Straight. That's how you do
Laredo
it.
Shepherd. That's his profile, and thanks for tuning in.
Hey, look, hey, man. You know how the thing goes, man.
Yeah, Laredo Shepherd. Yeah.
All right, Big L. I like that, man. Hey, look, you know what the game is? She says, the more you refer and shout out, the more we give back and in return. And it's cyclical. You keep doing it. You keep doing it, you get more recognition, man. Keep us in the loop about anything that's empowering, man. I think that is more important. So, man, good props to you, man.
So it is.
Yeah.
All right. It's that time. Make sure all my visual aids
the same. You start each morning with a cup of coffee every day. Maybe hit the snooze, turn on the local news, but nothing good comes from a one-sided point of view. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info, stay for the reefer. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info and stay for the reefer.
Yeah, weed and more weed.
Oh, that's wrong.
Weed and more weed. Listen, it's 2018. Recreational marijuana is becoming more and more the norm in certain places. And here in California, it's the law, even though it hasn't rolled out completely everywhere and at all times, and some things are still to be seen. Let me tell you one thing I think people should recognize, especially here in California, or in those places where medical marijuana cards are readily available and legal. Get the card. The average cost of the card, Vic, here is $30. You can get them as cheap as $25, anywhere from $25 to $45 for the medical evaluation, including the card. And there are additional benefits to remember that come with having a medical marijuana card. For one, there are legal benefits.
Absolutely.
That you are now a patient, so you're covered in ways by HIPAA.
Okay.
In terms of this is now part of your medical profile, that you are a patient who is using medical marijuana.
Right.
For $25, I suggest that you do that. The other thing I warn people is that recreational marijuana and medical marijuana are not handled the same in almost every place.
What do you find more up your ladder? The consumer area or the business expansion and development? What's your area that you like to watch more carefully? I'm
not investing in marijuana businesses.
Right.
People ask me why, and I said because I'm investing in Pax Stereo, and I don't need another job. Right? I could have gone on and practiced medicine an extra day a week.
True.
So the business side, that's the main reason why. For other people, yes. If I was younger and looking for something if I was young and looking for a growth area, marijuana definitely is it. My situation is unique because I'm not young. I have an enterprise, right? And then that takes up the majority of my time and efforts. But if I was younger, we might be talking about doing something like that.
Well, what about just from the information and consumption end?
That's definitely where I'm coming from, because I'm a user and I'm a medical marijuana, and that's why I'm telling you, for the $25, it's better to have the card and just use it if you need it.
Right.
When you get there, what you're going to find ultimately too is there's going to be a two-tiered price system, because the recreational marijuana is going to be taxed usually in a different way than the medical marijuana. Okay. No matter where you go, it'll probably be different. So as long as you can get the card cheaply and easily, get the card. Have the card too. Okay. That way you can make the decision yourself when you're at the dispensary whether to buy recreational or medical. I pointed out to everybody that this July, it's changing there, though. It's already changed.
Right.
When I was in Las Vegas at the dispensary I went to, they were out of recreational marijuana.
Okay.
I checked in with my medical marijuana card from California and bought weed.
Okay. All right.
See what I'm saying? But they were out of recreational marijuana, because that in Nevada, part of the deal is that the marijuana transport is done through the alcohol companies.
Okay.
So guess what? It wasn't getting transported.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So I want you to keep that in mind and remember that, because in L.A. and indeed in most of California, it's easy to get a medical marijuana card. In which case, I'm telling you, the benefits still involve that you're a medical marijuana patient, and all the evolving benefits that come from that.
Right.
By
Okay.
the way, today I'm smoking. Okay, I'm smoking SF. Let me see if I can find it because it was online. I'm smoking SFVOG, which is a hybrid SFVOG. Yeah, here it is. SFVOG. Say that fast. It's just hard. SFVOG marijuana strain, which is a hybrid. Okay, now they have strain reviews now on the line, and here's one. So it's San Fernando Valley OG. That's why the name is SFVOG.
Okay.
Okay. Now, not to be confused, they say, please don't confuse it with SFVOG Kush. Okay, because the SFVOG, the one I'm smoking, which is a renowned strain, is supposed to be a sativa dominant hybrid.
Right.
That means it's a hybrid. It has sativa and indica qualities, but they're dominated more. Just like when they talk about your astrological signs, that's, Virgo, whatever. This is the dominant thing.
Got it.
So when they say that it's a hybrid, but it's a sativa dominant. Now, what I said, because I like it, is that it has a little bit, it seems a little more indica-like. Okay, it's morning time and I smoked it, so it's a little heavy in the morning, but nice.
Okay.
But in other words, you're getting up, you're having your coffee. It's a little heavy. Just a little.
Okay.
So if you're having a slow morning, that might not be the one. But it's because it's a hybrid, which means it has some indica qualities. I'm saying because of those indica qualities, it's a little heavy. But I'm not saying that in a bad way. I like it so much, I got a half ounce of it. And last time I went in there,
right.
I like it so much I got a half ounce. And so so remember, it's different from the SFVOG Kush. Okay. Both of these are from the San Fernando Valley. Okay, here in Los Angeles. Wonderful. So that's what I'm smoking today.
Okay.
And I'll take a hit, and it's wonderful. And I'm using the pipe. I'm just lazy. I'm going, because that's what we're going to talk about next. We're going to talk about, different forms of smoking. And one of the big forms today is vaping.
Oh, okay.
What is vaping? Vaping is... I need to put my phone in Do Not Disturb.
I've got too many devices for me, man. It's just way too many. I mean, look, between the 3 phones, iPad, your watch. Imagine what you have to do to sit back and go, let me just get everything on and off when you need it. So,
it's hard.
It's hard.
And they're complicating it with these new sex toys that you work by your phone. They got this vibrator. It has a phone.
Wait a minute. Wait.
So you can stimulate it.
Are you doing this for the sake of the women or for your own personal edification?
Because I'm stoned and you just asked me about it. Someone asked me about those things. They said, have I heard about it? I said, yes, I know about it. I almost bought it. But they do have like a vibrator with a remote control.
Was it a woman or a man?
A woman asked.
See, it's important. You know why? Somebody come in right at the moment and go, who is he talking about?
It's almost always women who are asking me vibrator
That's
questions.
what I'm seeing. But see,
somehow I have the face or whatever, the knowledge that they feel comfortable asking me all these vibrator questions.
So notice the conversation.
How do we get off of this? Because I'm stoned and I'm trying to tell you guys.
Wait. We went from.
That's why I said SFVOG. Can we go back? Lord. Okay. Now. I'm stoned.
He's the one that did the transition.
Because I'm stoned. Okay, check it out. This is the introduction to vaping. So what is vaping, you guys? Vaping is a way of consuming marijuana which has to do with heating the marijuana enough to vaporize. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple definitions because it's actually an evolving term. Traditionally, the idea was to heat the marijuana enough, not to combust, but to vaporize the THC within the marijuana so that you could inhale that. Okay, that's what this one is for. Now, that is to be distinguished by some of the pens that are so common and popular today, which are used to vaporize, quote unquote, different products that you put within them. For the most part, they do not work that well smoking weed. Okay? Okay? And I've tried a bunch of them, but they are designed better to smoking and vaporizing the evolving list of what we are calling extracts. These are materials that are actually produced to consume in these pens. So you can imagine these vape pens that you're seeing have a heating component within them, battery operated heating component that heats up to vaporize, not necessarily combust, because those are different temperatures, okay? But to vaporize different liquids. So a lot of these solutions that they're putting in the pens are specific for that pen.
Okay.
And so when you try to use them for different things, they don't work well. For example, under the term extracts, you have different kinds of, they look like, let me see if I can show you some pictures, some extracts. They look marijuana. You guys, you got to Google this stuff. Extracts. Because these are removed from, they use different chemical process to remove this from the weed. And then you use it to smoke. Here's some examples, Vic. This is what I wanted to show you specifically.
I see it.
See some of these?
Mm-hmm. I see it.
So this is not, so in the old days we had hash, but hash was different. Hash actually in the old days came from the people who were processing marijuana. Their hands would be covered by resin.
Yes, it would.
And then they would rub off the resin and form it into little balls. This is the dirt and weed and resin on their hands.
Right.
From handling the weed, they would roll it off into balls.
Right. I remember.
And that was hash. Now, I have a hash collection, which I realize part of the reason I have a hash collection is that it ain't that pleasant to smoke. You cough a lot, tends to be harsh, but I have a hash collection. These new extracts use a variety of newly and evolving chemical processes to remove the THC from the weed.
The irritant. What it does to your throat or whatever the case may be.
It's not the same. So the smoking process is different on all of this. They tend to put these in pipes, break it off in pieces, and smoke.
Got it.
Okay, so we're going to talk more about this type of vaping. I'm going to talk about that coming up. I'm going to deal with the other type of vaping, which is really the vaporizing of marijuana. Okay? The idea, I'm going to first talk a little bit today about using a vape machine, specifically the Easy Vape, to smoke marijuana. Okay? And in the future episodes, we'll be talking about using vaporizers to consume some of these other products. Okay? And then I also will talk about the differences. Okay, you need to have that distinction because they're so different processes. One is using a specific, usually a pen or a pipe of some type, to vaporize a previously made specific compound versus using a machine to smoke weed. Got it. Now, let me talk about the Easy Vape. Okay, so the Easy Vape, which is the machine that I'm going to show you today, it's my vaporizer of choice. And I'll be using it this Friday. This Friday on the new show, Music and Mary Jane, I'll be using this extensively. Okay, but the Easy Vape is designed for you to smoke, for the most part, marijuana, grass, weed. Okay, but you can use it with other products too. This is a digital Easy Vape. Okay? And the way it works is that this is the heating element right there.
Right.
Okay?
And actually, Mario, could you go to that camera right there? It's right. Oh, good detail.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
there it is. And this is, you attach this. This is where you put all the weed. Okay? The weed and everything goes here. You attach it here. And then what you're doing is you are inhaling and you're pulling the heat through the weed, through the tubing, okay? So that's a heating element. That gets red hot, okay? And this element right here is where you put the weed. Now, how do you put the weed in there? If you take a look, I'll show you. You get to pull this apart. And inside, you can see there's leftover weed that needs to be thrown out from the last time this was used.
Okay. Okay.
Outgrowth. But the point is, this is where you put your weed in here. Okay, there's a screen in here. There's a screen in there. And you put this attaches. That comes off the clean. But what you do is you grind the weed with a grinder.
Right.
Very important. You grind it with a grinder so that it's nice and consistently ground. And you put the weed in here a little bit. You don't want it to actually touch this heating element.
Right.
You just want it to be, so you want it to be a little, so you put in maybe a quarter inch of the weed.
Right.
I tap it lightly, because you don't pack it, but I tap it lightly like of a pencil, eraser side.
Right.
Just lightly. Okay. Or you could tap it lightly with your little finger a little bit. Just lightly, not packing it. Just enough so that when you turn it like this,
right,
it doesn't all pour out.
Got it.
Okay.
Notice he's giving me an education, y'all.
Okay, I know you don't smoke weed.
That's
I want you now. I'm gonna tell you but I want everybody to understand the basic mechanism, because it's important to understand that you're putting the weed in this. Okay. You got the tubing, and then you're going to use this machine to provide the heat to vaporize the weed. So when you put this on here,
right,
turn it on. That when you turn it on, that turns hot, and you're going to be sucking on it, pulling that heat through the weed.
Right.
Which will then vaporize the THC, which then comes back to your mouth. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this. This is digital, Vic. If you see from the guide on the screen, it's digital.
Okay.
What does that mean? Different marijuana metabolites, okay, different cannabinoids vaporize at different temperatures.
Right.
With this being temperatures dependent, theoretically, and there are charts, we will debate the accuracy of the charts, but there are charts that tell you roughly what temperatures to use to vaporize which components. Like they might say,
oh, I understand.
These metabolites that make you more mellow
are
at this temperature. These that make you, totally stoned are at this. So because this is digital, you can actually specifically set a temperature, as opposed to the other ones that just have a knob you turn and guess what the temperature is. Some say high, medium, low.
Right.
This one you can actually program digitally the exact temperature that you want.
Okay.
Okay? So when you stick this on there and start smoking, the THC vaporizes and comes back to your mouth. It doesn't combust. Now, what does that mean? Because this is the most important thing. When the weed does not burn, it is totally affecting the flavor.
Okay.
If you're a person who's into health, doesn't want smoke,
right,
imagine you're a health nut person.
Right.
I said health nut. That's so bad.
Yeah, hey, nothing wrong with being a nut.
Forgive me, but you know you are.
Hey,
you're my friend, and I love you.
No, man.
But not you, but you know those types.
Oh,
we
yeah,
know
man. Don't worry about that.
You don't want any smoke.
Right.
This allows you to take marijuana. When you use the marijuana, the THC vaporizes. It tastes like water vapor with a little flavoring.
Right.
It's not smoke, because the weed never catches on fire.
Right.
It never combusts.
Right.
So it's never smoke. You get this vapor. It tastes like water vapor, only it fucks you up.
Right. So let me.
It's very potent.
Right. So you get into a question.
It's like a bong hit.
Right. So
it's like a bong hit that tastes like water.
Let me say this, because this, to explain it, is for the person who's basically going, this is what we are experiencing, those who smoke. For the most part. But I'm getting to something else.
All right.
I'm getting to this part where, do you see that will be the trend because you accept it. You could actually be in environments where people say, because a lot of people, the number one thing a lot of people who don't smoke may get into is that the smoke may be put into an environment where they don't want it on their clothes. They don't want it in their person, their body. Would that be the trend that says you could be in the same room now and those particular things won't happen?
Those people, that's where it's perfect.
Right.
Because
that's
it's not smoke.
about.
Some people don't want smoke.
Yeah.
Even though they may burn incense or whatever.
Right.
But let's say you don't want any of that.
Yeah.
Then this would be for you because it's inhaling the vapor.
Right.
You don't have any of the smoke issues. Okay?
Right.
And for all those reasons, now, I'll be going over this more on Friday on the show during Music and Mary Jane. But here's the thing. Remember, because the weed does not combust, that affects the smoking experience.
And what is it psychological or is it
total flavor? In other words, I've always said, now part of it is that I was a smoker, right?
Right.
Cigarettes. I was a smoker for years too. I quit smoking in 2007.
Right.
But I was a smoker, so when you roll marijuana and tobacco, and a lot of Europeans are known for mixing tobacco, cigarette. They unroll a cigarette and mix it with weed, and smoke that. So mixing tobacco and marijuana is a known likable thing in many places.
It's a
they can be it's like Coke and 7-Up. I mean Coke and rum. Or
it just goes together.
They go together.
It goes together.
So I always said a blunt rolled by a pretty woman is the best thing for me.
You know what?
Because it has this tobacco leaf and you're smoking it. But I've also smoked those where people didn't smoke. And the women, it was the girls like, oh, what is, And I said, oh my God, I forgot. That's tobacco. It's a blunt.
Right.
She hated it.
Right.
Because she didn't smoke tobacco.
Right. Got it.
So it makes a difference what you roll the weed in. For me, the best experience of smoking has to do with the flavor of the weed. So when you vaporize, like with those machines, there is no flavor. You're not combusting the weed.
Right.
So it does not have any of the smoking satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
See, so I don't get any of that. You get this water that has a slight flavor to it.
Right.
That is very potent. So potent that it tastes like nothing. You take big hits.
Because you're looking for it.
And
and later on.
It'll fuck you up. No, right there.
It'll get you.
It'll hit you.
So you want to have that taste, what I call the taste.
I want
experience.
the flavor, yes.
I want the experience.
Flavor of weed.
Right.
That's why, to me, the best burning marijuana, if you like the taste of burning marijuana, then vaping, I have 2 of them, right?
Right.
And you see I don't use them every day. I use them sometimes.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you I like the flavor
I feel
of marijuana. We're going to be talking more about this on Friday on the new show, Music and Mary Jane, where I'll be doing extensive vaping. So this Friday from 7 to 8:30, join me here, part of the pre-show for the I Victor that follows up at 9. We're going to be doing a bunch of vaping here on Friday, Music and Mary Jane, while listening to some wonderful Creative Commons music. Okay?
Oh, good, man. Cool.
There we go.
Yeah, I remember way back in the day, I had an ex-girlfriend, and I didn't know the nickname I gave her out of ignorance. And I gave her the nickname Mary Jane. So whenever I was around friends, and of course I was smoking, I would go, yeah, man, I got to go check in. I got to go see Mary Jane. And those who smoked took that as, where are you going? So they thought that I was talking, and I'm going, no, man, I'm going, that's a nickname, Mary Jane.
You could have nicknamed her BJ.
Hey, but you know, only you go there, man.
Because I don't have any girls you know named BJ. I always be BJ.
Dude,
I go like,
you just take it down that
BJ.
path. That pathway, you have to go there, don't you?
Times are a-changing, but some things stay the same. You start each morning with a cup of coffee every day. Maybe hit the snooze, turn on the local news, but nothing good comes from a one-sided point of view. Marijuana for dummies. Come
SFDOG. Coming back with some sports and our picks. I know we're running late today again, but that's because it's so good. We're working on it. We're rusty, not dusty.
Oh no, you just won.
You know, what ends up supposed to be the short stuff, I don't know.
Happens. What's up, peeps? Big ol' live.me, Periscope, Twitter. Hey, you know, we just waking up, work that grind, talk to your mind. Do it like you just talking to people. Man, that's what we're doing here. Green.
Up in a tower, and the world concealed.
Indiana Hard.
Red leather breaking out when the truth will be revealed. But the shadows of a stronger, to a naked king we kneel. Yeah, your nose is growing longer, when will you become real? You become real. You become real. You become real. Tell me why can you wake up? Tell me why can you wake up? Tell me why you relinquish trapped in your abyss. Tell me why can you wake up? Tell me why can you wake up? Tell me why are you just waiting for his kiss? His kiss, his kiss, his kiss, his kiss, his kiss, his kiss. What are you waiting for? Lying dormant in a battle, all your secrets keep. When she fooled you with an apple, now the spell is long and deep. Bleeding finger on the spindle, 100 years until we meet. From the path you fell to find a wolf dressed like a sheep. Tell me why can you wake up? Tell me why can you wake up? Tell me why you relinquish trapped in your abyss. Tell me why can you wake up? Tell me why can you wake up? Tell me why are you just waiting for his kiss? His kiss, 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 his kiss. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Poppy fields, velvet garden, no place quite like home. So you sold your voice for certain risk to gain a human soul. Through a hole you're in a garden, queen takes you as a pawn. You were never ugly, darling. All this time you've been a swan. A swan, a swan, a swan, a swan, a swan, a swan. What are you waiting for? Tell me why can you wake up? Tell me why can you wake up? Tell me why you relinquish trapped in your abyss. Tell me why can you wake up? Tell me why can you wake up? Tell me why are you just waiting for his kiss? His kiss, 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 his kiss.
What are you waiting for?
His kiss, his kiss, his kiss, his kiss. What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Love Shadow, his kiss. Remember, Creative Commons, it's all yours. You can have it free. Now, are you ready for some sports?
Not much.
What are they waiting for, man?
They moved on. They're going to the refrigerator, man.
Ow! That's right, Victor Allen's New Sports. Rub his hand and make a wish, brought to you by Victor Allen. A recurring segment of the Morning Cup with Mario show. Victor's unique fan-based view of sports. Brought to you by the man the ladies have nicknamed Sexual Chocolates. Hope you dressed appropriately. Sports bras and jock straps. Get ready! It's time for sports! Don your apparel!
Oh, you like that, huh? It's all good, man. I feel you. I'm gonna make sure Mario's doing his transition. You got your transitions for your social media. You got that all working because I know that break worked for you, but it's making
Well, now we just go straight through at Facebook. So,
right, because you're not doing the.
Yeah, we don't do. We just upload the separates later on.
There you go. All right, hey you guys. Hey, welcome. Don't mean to turn my shoulder to you. I'm only doing this because I'm talking to Mario, but I'll switch it up now and then to just switch up the camera. Not trying to ignore him. Hey, look. Okay. I'm not supposed to talk about anything else but football first, right? I can't talk UFC, can't talk boxing. I can't talk skiing.
But you're a rule breaker.
Which is the competition where I'm sitting back. Hey, man,
I watched it.
I'm telling you, I can talk it all, but if I can't pronounce some of the names, then I'm going to kill it. All right, man. All right, I'm going to do this because I hate throwing people under the bus because who am I to say this? But when I watched the Patriots in Jacksonville, dude, all I'm saying is this. They say every move counts, right? Every move is a count. And when you dominate, no, let's forget it. They didn't dominate. They handled their business all the way up to about 1 minute and 40 seconds before the game ended. I know everybody's going to pick it apart. They're going to talk about penalties. And I'm going to say this. The teams who are the up-and-coming teams, the first issue you got to deal with is discipline. You see how many penalties they got. Now, everybody's going to say the penalties don't matter. I say, so if you give...
Oh, no, the penalties matter.
If you give Tom Brady 100 yards in penalties, what does that equate to? And especially if it's when the penalties turn into first downs. It's different when you're on offense, man. And you go, oh, we executed a great play, but we had a penalty. It's totally different when you go, it's 3rd and 10.
Oh, yeah, no.
And Tom Brady's about to do this. You guys got him, but then there's a penalty. So the lesson I learned from this was they say you always look at where people have been. So you give them, remember the whole boxing thing, Mario? They say if you're going to go beat the champ, you just can't have a draw. You got to go beat them. And if you're on their home turf, you have to beat them decisively. So I'm not mad at that part. I'm going to tell you the part I'm mad at, man, which tripped me out. I'm just, forget the penalties. Have you ever seen a team in the first half with little under 1 minute to go give up on offense and says, just take a knee. We don't need to do anything. Meaning that we don't want to risk the possibility that our quarterback cannot do anything substantially enough. He will be a bigger threat to turn the ball over than to go in and take a shot down the field. Now, I'm just saying this. Did that hit you, or did you just say, hey, it's 1 minute to go, don't worry about it? If it was Tom Brady, he'd take a knee too, right?
There was a bunch of places. I thought they ended the first half horribly.
That's what I'm talking about. At the end of the first half, they took a knee.
Well, they not only did they okay, even before that, they relaxed enough to me to let all that happen. They relaxed significantly.
Right.
To let all that go, to let all that happen.
Right.
And it could have almost been that New England was actually looking for a way to get another score in.
Man.
Like another field goal or something just by getting the ball back and going down. So, no, it was a worst nightmare of mistakes.
Right.
Especially, and I'll go on and say it. When you talk that much crap.
Thank you.
Then you get two specifically.
Hey, man.
To Ramsey.
Look.
You get 2 pass interference calls on you that are
obvious. Right. Now, I'm going to say this.
Even Boye, whatever. He too. You're getting now beat. Here you guys are, the name people.
Right.
Who get mentioned in all the sports shows.
Right.
And you're getting beat by no-name people and a wide receiver that most people consider to be diminutive.
Right.
Little guy.
But
Amendola's eating you alive. And Tom Brady's passing like...
Okay, let me say this. Here's the other part. When they say, do you believe the hype or do you not believe the hype? And when I say that is, did you expect this? This is what I'm saying. They call Jacksonville Saxonville. I didn't come up with that name. That reputation if this team gets at you. And I'm talking about adjustments. I'm going to the offensive coordinator because somewhere along the way you have to go. You do know they're going to stack the box. Leonard Fournette is not going to get what he got before. And since you know that's coming, we don't want Blake to use his legs. And I want you guys to come out with the same plays. They came out in the second half. And look, I'm giving props to Brady and the Patriots. They said one man goes down, we still step up. This team in the second half did nothing to adjust. They didn't get creative. They didn't do anything. Do you understand when you're sitting up there going like this? Here's the threat. When you go look at the rushing yards for the Patriots, and you can actually go down below the pick, Mario, you can see the data on the rushing and the passing, and you're going, so if you stopped New England from a rushing game, and they stopped you, even though you had more yards on the ground, they adjusted. I literally was sitting here going, you guys are just, you're not going to even do anything. They're stacking the whole box, so you don't even have confidence that you could throw over the top, stretch the field. Not even Blake Bortles will use his legs as a threat. Everything went conservative, and I'm saying that's not the way not the way you're going to beat the Patriots.
They weren't, and the thing about it was, for the most part, the defense did reasonably well, even with the rush and all that. For the most part, you figure in your best case scenario, you're going to be holding the Patriots. You're not going to hold them to 2 touchdowns. No one is.
Right.
So if you say hold them to 21,
right,
and you hold them to 24, so then the Jaguars could have won this game, and it definitely involves, to me, certain things they never did. And actually, when it comes to the rushing, to tell you the truth,
right,
they really actually had moments where they established. That was part of the first drive where they were getting good runs. They were actually beating them on the regular in the first half.
Right.
The regular nose-to-nose stuff, the runs, getting reasonable gains in those runs, just not sometimes getting the third down like they should have.
And they have, and remember now, they had
opportunities.
They had more first downs on third down than the Patriots did.
Yeah, they had ample opportunities.
So this is one of those where the rushing yards for New England's total was 46 yards. 46 yards. And if you want to follow more, you can actually go below the graph and you'll see all the data. Leonard Fournette didn't have that bust-out game. He had 76 yards, but the total was 101 yards. Actually, Blake threw a few more yards than Tom Brady. What I'm getting at is not necessarily the yard. It's the difference between the penalties, lack of discipline, and conservatism. I said, if you sit there and say, we just don't trust Blake.
They got out-coached.
Out total.
And their big-name players didn't made mistakes. In other words, the 2 passes, I understand their objections with some of the other calls, but the 2 obvious pass interference calls, and the way they let Crooks, whatever.
What are you doing?
These are no-name people. Made him look like an all-star. They were playing him back so far. I'm going, wow.
They kept saying it.
You were playing them back. Is he an all-star, all-pro receiver that you have to play him that loose?
They don't have any speed people over the top that's going to stretch the field. They just are fearing. They're going like this. I can't let him beat me long. And I'm going, now here's the part I'm getting at, Mark. Watch this.
15 yards
Jacksonville, this is how tough it is. Did you understand that Jacksonville didn't do anything in addition to pressing Tom Brady when it came down to crunch? This is what New England did. They said, if we back you up where you're on the 10 on your offensive drive, and you got Blake, we're going to come after Bortles. Now, when they did it with Tom, they said, well, 3-man rush. We're going to keep it all through the game. So imagine Tom is sitting there going like this. So you guys are not going to change up anything. You're going to keep doing the same thing. He says, okay. And I said, so you did not do anything to adjust the looks. I said, forget it. Game over.
Even without
game over, man.
Gronkowski, even without him the whole second half.
Right.
Like I said, they made the backup players.
Right.
And they made Amendola, here you go. His career is going to be known for outperforming the bigger people. because he makes all those catches and they're not guarding him.
Right.
He's not supposed to be the fastest receiver in the
Right.
world.
Right. You're not supposed to. You're not okay. When I'm not looking. What I'm looking for is neither one of my teams. So this to me is just about when you all of a sudden get at that moment and you got to go to the Super Bowl, and you literally are going, let's give them something a different look, and you don't do it. And I'm going, so you guys are not going to really make Tom Brady fear any rush. It's going to be 3-man rush, maybe 4-man rush. That's it. Nothing else. You guys are that good. And if he's picking you apart on drives in the second half and you don't adjust, then what you're fearing is that he's going to go long. And I said, but you guys don't have anybody to stretch. They don't have anybody to stretch the field long that you have to worry about on speed. So I'm only saying. I
understand. To me, I thought going into this that the big issue was they had the secondary.
Yes, they did.
To deal with everything. And they did not perform.
Well, Ramsey was the big guy who can say, I can be assigned to Gronk. And they did their job. Get Gronk out of it. Took him out, didn't they? Still didn't work. Because the conservative offensive play caller.
The other guy looked like an all-pro, see?
Right. I'm only saying.
They kept getting beat with regular
underneath
even
big
though the
gaps.
passes were pinpoint.
Big gaps underneath.
Wonderful passing display.
Yeah, okay.
He was putting the ball right where it had to be.
Right.
But still, they were getting beat.
Yes, they were. And if you go, and the stats really don't tell the story. It's the timely calls. So hey, I just want to get out because I expected the Patriots to win. I just didn't expect Jacksonville to take a conservative position that they did. Because the game is always full of adjustments. All right. The game that I think everybody got caught up in the hype. When they talked about who's favorite, everybody said Minnesota. Minnesota. Everybody was just, this is the hype. And I'm only thinking like this. Do you know Minnesota barely got past New Orleans Saints? So
oh, yeah,
which Minnesota are you talking about?
Based on the miraculous
right,
play.
that's it. They barely got. So what's this? And everybody kept talking about this year.
They got through them with scoring points.
But the part that I keep saying, and they kept saying it, the people who are really picking those sides said, you really don't know how well balanced this team is, Philadelphia. Also, I saw speed. When I say speed, I saw speed where I was going. They said when you deal with Philadelphia, you don't realize how good they are offensively, defensively, and balance and speed. So my whole point was to say, when I looked at it, I said, oh my God, they're overwhelming them. Is it that they didn't freeze up, Mario. This is the part where they were going like this. Everybody fell in love with this. Carson Wentz is gone. That's it. The team's going to fall apart. And I said, but this is going to be the best. This is the best backup story next to Kurt Warner coming in and taking the Rams to the Super Bowl, where they sit back and say, this guy's he almost did a perfect QBR rating. He had all day to throw. They didn't get close to him. This team was supposed to be the top defensive team. They didn't get close to him. So my point, this is the part where I have to do this evaluation. It's just me. Are they going to get dominated by New England?
No, and that's where it gets to be. We have hope. Okay, for those of us who are New England haters, there's hope in this game. There's hope in this game. There was hope in the Jacksonville game. There really was hope there too.
Right.
So, and justified too by the score. It didn't have to be that way.
Right.
So there's hope in this one too. I get the root for Philadelphia, but specifically, no, they look like they're up to the task. In fact, I'm curious. I don't know. Does anyone know who's favored?
Yes, 5.5 points right now. It's the biggest gap they said since 2009, the Super Bowl.
Who's favored?
New England. That's why I said they.
Okay.
And we're going to get to that in the moment.
That might be a bet to take in Vegas.
Well, and here's my thing. Let me just say this, because I think people are going to get caught up in this. They're saying, what did you see on the field? Did you see Minnesota underperform? Or did you see Philadelphia go, once Carson went down, you guys took us off the playing board? Actually, the week before last week, when they played in the playoffs, they had in the NFC, the ratings of the NFC teams, I think they had Philadelphia 6 in the NFC. So here's the two teams that's coming to the table.
Who was rated 1 in defense?
Number 1 in defense, it was Minnesota.
That's what I thought. They were number 1 in defense.
Right, they were number 1 in defense.
So that says something because they got really manhandled.
Yes, they did. It was
the runs
all
that LeGarrette Blunt
scrambled eggs.
They just ran.
Foles was like this. I could just cook breakfast back here. They couldn't get to him. And what makes it so interesting is that I think everybody fell for the whole thing of, well, if they don't have Carson Wentz, the whole team is going to collapse. And they kept saying, look at the stats and look at how they're beating teams once they got around Nick Foles. So,
well, they should have. I can understand them saying that early in the season.
Right.
I wasn't saying that before this. Anyone who was really kind of stupid. They've already proven what they are with Foles. So
right.
That doesn't need to be restated.
Right.
So there's enough history in the preceding games.
Right.
So, no, they weren't going to fall apart. It was just a matter that Minnesota they were felt to have they had the number 1 defense.
Right.
But I guess people were expecting that was going to be more of an issue for Philly not to. People were expecting, I don't know about, that 14 points might win the game. Right. People were actually saying stuff like that. 14-10, 14-7. There was no one predicting even a game in their 20s.
Right.
So, it ended up being 38-7.
So whose defense arrived?
Philly.
Philly's defense arrived.
Well, I would say more their offense arrived too, because the way that they were clicking, that's going to be a big deal. Because to me,
right,
it's interesting that the Patriots are favored.
I can understand why, because they can score. They don't have an overwhelming defense, but they got a good defense. And if you have Brady. And they have already exposed, which we're going to be going to.
Brady's the X factor.
Because their weakness in Philly, if there's any weakness, they say they have 2 young DBs or 1 young DB who stands out that they can go and pick on. So that's not the point. The point is, to me, I think what you do with Brady, because we're getting into that now, so we might as well go on over to it. The Super Bowl now. It's the Super Bowl pick. We already know that Patriots right now are 5.5. They probably go up 6.5 before we even get a few days before. They'll probably even take it even further. But the part I sit back and say is what you do is turn into a scoring offense. If you're going to sit back and offset Brady, don't do what Jacksonville do. Don't do that. Be conservative. just here, hand the ball off. We don't want to fumble. We don't want to do this. Just don't take that attitude. I think Philadelphia is faster. That doesn't mean that they have a Brady. Also, to keep them honest, man, this is the part where you say, Nick has some legs. He has some legs. So here's the part. Here's the part that you're dealing with. Now you know who's favored, man. You got to make
Gronkowski's back and Brady's there
all day.
Then I think Philly's going to have trouble with Gronkowski.
So you don't think they're going to have problems with Blunt, who used to be on the Pats, and
I think
Ajayi?
I think
they're going to have problems.
They're going to have problems. It's going to be
he can't key in on the rushing only.
It should be a good game. The best teams are there.
They won't dare Nick Foles to throw like they did with Jacksonville, where they said put the 8 men in a box to stop the run. They said, you do know that this is a different team.
The Patriots do a different way of defending people. Right. And like you said, they're the best adjusters.
Right.
Right? Aren't they the best known for that? They're the best.
So
whatever you're doing, they're going to come back with something.
Right. So top to bottom, if you compare Jacksonville and Philly, and you see New England was losing at home for most of the game. Are we saying that Philadelphia is less formidable than Jacksonville? I'm going.
No, they're more formidable.
That's.
In other words, to me, even I don't know what the numbers are. I actually take Foles over Bortles.
Oh, easy, dude.
Even though Bortles has some of the other stuff.
His QB, the rating, he hit 144 this game. He said he almost had a perfect score. That's how good he was. Everybody's going,
well,
wow.
that's after the fact. I was just saying even before that I still felt that I was more comfortable with that offense.
And he wasn't a game manager either.
Right. No, but just the way they could play it.
Right. Okay. All right. Wait. Look. So here's my pick. They don't care, Mario. Who you picking? Here's my pick.
I'm gonna pick Philadelphia.
I'm not picking against. Tom.
I'm not saying logic. I'm going to root for Philadelphia. I'm going to be pushing for them.
Right.
They have a chance. I don't necessarily disagree with the point spread. I think it's a little narrower, but yeah, that's less than a touchdown.
Yeah.
See, when you interpret it like that,
yeah,
they're saying so New England wins by less than a touchdown.
Here's the part. I wish I would have went and looked at the players and see how many of them have playoff experience before this year. I didn't. That's my fault. I'm going to have to judge accordingly. I'm literally going with Philadelphia to win. I haven't decided the points only because I just truly believe they got underestimated based on the balance they have. The balance is unbelievable, and I didn't pay attention to it until somebody kept saying, They are who they've been this whole year. They're overwhelmingly better than you think. So I'm going to go with Philly on this. Not to go against New England. I'm going with Philly. If I had to make this bet, now, you know how things go. Everybody can turn around and say, well, they got Brady. I said, okay, that's no problem. Yeah, they got Brady. Take them. All right. We're in the age now, man, where unfortunately we'll probably, until the rules change, can't compare the next high school phenom to the last one we know of, which was LeBron James. But is this, I call him a man, okay? This guy's name, I'll call him Z. Zion, whatever they pronounce his name to be, because I've heard it both ways. Williamson, 6'7", 270 pounds, and it ain't butter. He is a man-child. You remember Mike Tyson when he first boxed Mario? They said, okay, how often do you see those guys get in the ring, waist up, they're yoked, waist down, a little slim. It's one of these guys. He is what they call that. Whoa, if he was a tight end in the NFL, he would be 6'7", 272, 17 years old. I put a comparison of a high school picture of LeBron in his last year and Zion. Okay. You see the boyish looks with LeBron? And I'm saying, you got to go look at this guy. I've seen him. Just so you know that he's not one of those, oh, I just get under the basket. Go to the next picture. And you can see where sometimes they say, oh, I get lifted. And he's a lefty. All right. You don't even see the floor. When you see how much distance this guy got, he is unbelievable. He just
look like his elbows near rim. Though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You got to go see
his
it.
Elbows near rim.
Dude.
Rim height.
Duke just got him day before yesterday. He did visit UCLA. Unfortunately, you know what that meant. No chance. No chance, dude. So here's the other thing. The ESPN prep rankings, he's not number 1. He's number 2. So you ask, how come I didn't bring number 1 in? I said, no, you don't get it. He's just turning 18, and he's huge muscularly. So my question is, it's up to us. If this was a one and done, I mean, we're going to go, is he going to spend 1 year at Duke and get out? That's the first question. But when he gets with Coach Z, we won't know until later. The real question is, had the NBA had not that rule of you can't come straight out of high school, would he be drafted in the NBA if that rule was eliminated? Based on the stats.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he would be. Marcus Malone was the last. I don't know who else was drafted out of high school.
Oh, wait a minute.
Marcus Malone, I believe.
No, Bynum. Bynum was the last one. Andrew Bynum, I think, was the last one who got in before they changed the rule.
Right.
And I'm talking about phenom, though. When I say phenom.
Kobe came out of high school.
Kobe, yeah. LeBron is the last phenom, the one that just delivered. I mean, I'm not just coming out of high school. Delivered, I think, was LeBron. Nobody since, because the rules changed. What we're comparing is, give him a year under Duke. Will he turn out to be, with that size, 272? Dude, don't think there's anybody in the NBA unless they're like 7'2", 7'3", and huge. Is bigger than this guy, and he's muscle. So I'm not trying to get ahead that he doesn't. He's at a high school level. He has to get that year under his belt.
Yeah, but the issue, the way they look at it is that if he's a certain amount of physical maturity and specimen, that he benefits under the pro system,
right?
With a different level of coaching and attention,
right?
That's the part that's different.
True.
And no matter what, even at a high level basketball program, at a very high level like Duke or North Carolina, any of these other ones, you still are not approaching that of the best NBA teams who will be getting him. You may be approaching to some of the more minor NBA teams, maybe.
Right.
But I'm just saying the level of coaching and all of those things he'll experience, Vic.
Right. So
way different.
Yeah. What I'm enjoying about this is that I always say it's very difficult to stop these cats who basically, it's hard to stop somebody who's a southpaw, which is a lefty. It's another thing when they're big. They usually come slim, a little lanky, maybe sometimes, or a point guard who you're so used to defending on the right hand because they're righties. It's like James Harden. No matter what, he knows how to get by you on both sides, but they know he's going to go another way. This guy, I can't wait to see. They've done mixtapes on him. He's done contests. He doesn't even have to get involved in that. He's so far beyond by his skill and what he has learned. So I'm hoping that for the most part we get to enjoy it. I give him 1 year at Duke unless he totally doesn't know how to play in the system.
2 at the most.
See, you already said
yeah, 2
right.
Because I wouldn't even advise. You need to go on and get. The question is whether that's a good coach for him to have as a maturing point for a lot of other things.
Right. I agree.
So, at least that's what people say.
Yep. Hey, you guys, I'm getting out of the sports right now. I'm not going to cover everything else, but just so you know, the Larry Nassar, the gymnastics scandal, the coach who basically who's being hit, because of the abuse that he did with the USA Gymnastics, particular members of the team. 3 board members, since that was also an issue, have resigned. I won't get into more details about that. Just go follow and see the reading. The board members were coming under what they would call a controversial conversation because of the knowledge of things. So 3 of them have resigned. I'll cover that probably next week. Just go check it out. Man, it's bad. When they're walking away, something's up. Other than that, man, I'm out of sports, dude. Done.
Vigorello, the Newz Sports, is unique fan-based view of sports. A recurring segment here every week. The Morning Coffee with Mario show. Tune in and dress appropriately. Sports bras and jock straps. That's everybody. Keeps us confused.
Right. That's what it does.
Sports now. Yes. Coming up next, Hot Picks.
Cool.
Gotta get ready, y'all. Coming your way. Hot Picks.
Broken
Welcome back for the last segment. Let's see how far we've gone. Okay, we're running a little bit long. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but then maybe I'm lying. Okay, as you guys know, for the fellas, I know you guys are not probably feeling the same from the originating hot picks as it related with a whole bunch of beautiful women back in the day. It was really to empower those up-and-coming independent models, those trying to get in the game, and it's evolved. Well, now we're getting into the economic empowerment of things, and the players of any particular industry, not just specific to looking at beautiful women, okay? So today, it's really the best video games of 2017, and even if you're a video game player or not, you have to recognize the industry because probably most of you guys are more consumers who's enjoying this. And I'm the one that's playing catch up to see how I need to recognize because I have not been able to participate as much, but I follow where the evolution of the industry is going. So what we're going to do is talk about the best video games of 2017 and just give you some information about it. Dollar sales of video game software and PC game software combined to reach $744 million September 2017. That's not including the rest of the year. That's just up to this point because that's the latest data I received. Up 49% versus a year ago. Year to date, consumer spending is up 7% compared to a year ago at $3.7 billion. They do more with less. I mean, literally go, we don't have to put out a lot of games. All we have to do is keep expanding the game we got. One of the easiest recipes, and so I'm gonna go over the game, and Mario knows we don't get a lot of time to play video games because we're actually playing this platform. so the only way we get time is when we sit back and say we have to skirt our duties, and we can't afford to do that. So
Pornhub or video.
Hey man, look. So what I'm going to do with Mario is more or less say, here, I'm going to give you the information and which video game you think is king of the hill. All right? They're all mixed up. All right? In no particular order. So I'm going to go to the first one just to give you what they call, you need to do your job. And do your job means Call of Duty World War II. Here's the specs on it, just a little bit. The game is set in the European theater and is centered around a squad in the 1st Infantry Division, following their battles on the Western Front and set mainly in the historical events of Operation Overlord. The multiplayer expands to different fronts not seen in the campaign. The game earned over $500 million within its first 3 days of release. On December 20th, 2017, it was confirmed that the game had generated over $1 billion in revenue, making it the highest grossing console game of the year in North America. Mario,
imagine a movie. Imagine how much better that is than say, the hit movie.
Ain't got to worry about no actors. Dude.
Compare, because I'm saying, let's really compare those. That's why you see the commercials now for them so regular. You've seen commercials for Call of Duty.
And let me say this. There's also an evolution that's taking place where I'll get to it without giving it away. I don't want to give away what I'm seeing is the trend within the video game world. But hey, that's the first one. Let me go to the next one because I'm just going to give you the review and you tell me where your game of gamers are. The next one up, Destiny 2. Here's the reading. Players assume the role of Guardian, protectors of Earth's last safe city, as they wield a power called Light to protect the last city from different alien races. One of these races, the Cabal, led by the warlord Dominus Gaul, infiltrate the last city and strips all Guardians of their life. In Game Informer's Reader's Choice Best of 2017 awards, the game came in second place for the best co-op multiplayer and for best shooter. They literally, the part that I'm getting into now is, it reminds me when they say, did you watch the SAG Awards last night? And you have to go best supporting actor, best screenplay, best. So what they have in their own world is say, we actually can get recognized for particular roles in the particular video. And I like that. That part gives more education to how they're saying, notice this area has been enhanced. Notice also they said, what I love about it is it deals with multiplayer. That, Mario, is to me the thing that catches my attention. See, it's making me want to go, oh yeah, multiplayer.
Well, then you could get a team and go get them.
Oh, all day.
Well,
So
maybe we need to do that.
see, you already there. See, so I'm just letting you know that we're just going down the list to see which one actually draws your attention and you think is the player. All this information I'm giving you is not consistent to each one. I'm highlighting and see if you can make your determination. Let's go to the next one. You know, this one is funny because they had to start the campaign and didn't have enough time to switch. So here we are. That's Kyrie. He's a Celtic. They did switch it. It was fast. I have to give it to them. The story on how fast they had to turn around and go, dang, they had Kyrie, but he was a Cavalier, and then they had to switch it over to for the game for the Celtics, meaning they had to do some adjustments within the software a little bit, but not much. So NBA 2K18, the player mainly plays NBA games with real life or customized players and teams. Games follow the rules and objectives of NBA games. Several game modes are present and many settings can be customized. In terms of commentary, Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett appeared as guest commentators. So we got our first, what I call celebs, that is recognized to fuel this. Mario, if you wanted to have commentators on NBA 2K19, which NBA players would you say, no, go get them. Go get them. Would Charles Barkley be one?
Yeah.
Would you get Charles Barkley to commentate? You probably would. Okay.
I mean, he has color, definitely has that.
Okay, here's another one. Is there anybody who could have been better positioned than Kyrie? If you had to think of another player, Kyrie's it.
No, there's a bunch of them that may be better.
Kevin Garnett. So it makes you think, right?
Oh, definitely. In terms of the commentary, I wouldn't have chose either one of them.
Right.
Specifically, I wouldn't have chose Kobe Bryant. He hasn't proved. At least I've seen Kevin Garnett and I know that he can be funny or witty or whatever.
Right. What about the
But
cover?
I don't know about Kobe.
What about the cover? But if you had to pick another player on cover for 2K,
Oh, there's a bunch of people you could just.
so something is trending.
Whether it's Curry or Durant.
But they got
or
Kyrie.
Westbrook, or even George.
Right.
Or even Harden or Chris Paul.
Right.
You have a bunch of people, or LeBron even.
Right.
You have a bunch of people who could be looked at for this.
But you know they picked
Or,
this.
You know, you could have chosen Giannis, even though
Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo.
You're right. Look, I'm there too, dude. Yeah, and the reason why I say that too, also just to make a point of when they did the NBA players voted their number one vote getter for themselves, it was Giannis over everybody.
Okay.
So he is a player.
Yeah, so that's true.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. All right. Let's go to the next. The next is, this man, I have to give it to him. Madden, NFL 18. Did they get it right or did they get it right? Look at the picture. It's already done. So let me read.
I could buy this just because of that.
All right, that's Jack.
I don't have anything
Wait a
against
minute.
him specifically.
No, man.
I don't have anything specific.
So your argument is going to be get Tom Brady on.
I'm just not a Patriots.
I understand, man.
But Brady, I don't really specifically have.
Let me say this. I'll start following everybody when they go, when that team keeps winning. They keep showing up. They keep playing. And you guys don't develop a chant, beat, You did it with the Lakers. The Lakers kept going, kept participating.
They have a chant, beat the Patriots, don't they have that? I think they do.
No, they don't have no chant. There's not a system.
They don't use it in Boston.
Wait a minute. No. Mario, it's not the chant.
Well, let's see what Philly does, because Philly will have a chant,
right.
Okay?
And you're not supposed to say beat the Patriots. You're supposed to beat the city. Beat L.A.
And Minnesota's not going to be that expensive to travel to. So I would expect a contingency of both. And they're used to cold weather. No, they're going to show up there.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Both cities are going to show
right.
up.
But then nobody's going to get tired of the Patriots and start a city against chant. See,
Well, I don't know. Philly will do that. And have a sandwich, too.
how make it roll off your
Philly
lips.
will have the...
How you roll Boston off of your lips? Beat Boston. It's not the same. Beat LA. It has a
Beat Boston as the double B. Beat Boston, bite Boston. BF Boston.
let's go.
But, okay.
That's Jack. Let me read this.
BF Boston.
All right. NFL 18, Madden NFL 18 introduces a story mode known as Long Shot. I like that. Story mode. The first such mode in the series, Long Shot, follows Devin Wade, a quarterback from Matthias, Texas, as he tries to reach the NFL and includes high school and college football games. The first appearance of the latter in EA Sports games since 2013, when EA ended the NCAA football series as well as the NFL Scouting Combine. The game won an award for Best Fantasy Team Mode and at Gamers Informer's 2017 Sports Game of the Year Awards. So what I like about this is that it has a story mode. So, you know, the part I'm saying is, isn't this reminding you of social media? That whole thing that they're incorporating, your personal involvement.
Well, it's obviously, or social media, that's adding movie-type themes to games, which has been a tendency for quite some time.
Right.
The creative point would be adding it to a sports game.
Right.
Because it's been a part of other games. In other words, that's specifically like when you talked about, like the ones we talked about, the action films.
Right.
So those ones have scripts built into them. And that has been the tendency. May also represent the fact that you're having more women players.
Yep.
So that's changing the nature of the storyline to some degree.
Absolutely. And I can't, and that part I do enjoy about it. Okay, good. We got that. We only got a couple of more. Let's go to the next. This man's name is known before he got into this world. Mario will know about it. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Wildlands is a tactical shooter game set in an open world environment and played from a third-person perspective with an optional first-person view for gun aiming. Players play as members of the Delta Company 1st Battalion, 5th Special Forces Group, also known as Ghost, a fictional elite special operations unit of the United States Army under the Joint Special Operations Command. It won an award for Best Cooperative Multiplayer at Game Informer's Best of 2017 Awards, Best Comeback and Multiplayer, and Best Cooperative Multiplayer in their 2017 Shooter of the Year Awards. It was also nominated for Outstanding Achievement in Online Gameplay at the upcoming 21st Annual DICE Awards. You know Tom Clancy, don't you, Mario? Got background on him. Book writer? Author?
Well, there you go. That's what I'm saying in terms of applying. Now, you could think back to how they did the sports ones.
Right.
And who wrote that. That would be interesting to go see.
Right.
But again, yeah, this is the tendency. The game, this was the big move even a while back then.
Yeah.
The fact that the characters, the scripts,
Right.
and the characters were now being given first level attention.
Yep.
Especially with the fact that as players,
Right.
you get to adopt a particular character. So they were writing really good stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this just goes to show how legitimate it's become because they're recruiting named people.
And here's the part that you're talking about. Most authors go, I hope my book gets turned into a film. He's already experienced that and now has moved over incorporating the video.
Way more than books.
Unbelievable how
Way
he's
more
had
than
an
a book,
evolution.
right.
He's in his third lifetime, man.
Way more than a book.
All day. All right, let's go to the next. You know, this is going to be for those who I say it's a new player in the game. And the new player in the game is called The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Similar to the original Legend of Zelda, the player begins with little instruction and that's what I like, and is allowed to explore freely at their own pace. Breath of the Wild introduces physics engine to the Zelda series with consistent rules, but also let players approach problems in different ways rather than trying to find prescribed solution. Love it. Entertainment Weekly ranked the game first in their list of the best games of 2017. Eurogamer ranked the game as #1 on their list of the top 50 games of 2017, while EGM Now ranked the game at number 1 in their list of the 25 best games of 2017. Not the normal type of player you see in your top games. And let me just say this for anybody who's going to probably contest this. These particular ratings were really done, and it was a report done based on the numbers and the reports through September 2017. So it did not include what they call the fiscal year, because you can actually pull this list up again of the best-selling videos and go from January to 2017. You can pull it up again today, and the list changed. But you know who? I'm gonna tell you, the top 3 positions stay in the top. Now we're gonna go run down and see if Mario can go and pick. Here's the gamer games that I like based on what we presented. Let's take it from the top, Mario, and see which ones you like.
Well, you know, I'm going to be a tendency towards certain kinds of things, and I was thinking about that.
Right.
Really, Call of Duty to me.
You like Call of Duty?
Even though I'm not big into war things.
Right.
The fantasy aspects, what I've seen,
right,
look very good. But I have to tell you, just the first couple of ones make you wonder. This Destiny 2.
Right.
And of course, you think about these platforms, because in today they're coming out on multiple platforms.
Right.
So that's part of knowing what to buy.
Right.
You know, I'm least interested in the sports games.
I knew you were. I knew you
I
were.
just am. I'm just least interested in it, even though I would be willing to give it a try. That's not just for the NBA team game, but the Madden game also.
Right.
So I'm least interested in that. Tom Clancy, again, I have interest. This is more my thing for escapism, I guess. To
right.
be part of the clearly defined something or other, even though my politics so often gets in the way of those things.
Right.
And then The Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't kind of get it, but for me. But again, this may reflect again the growing trend to have games more for women.
Right. And here's the other thing. NBA has to survive off of celebrity pros and jocks.
Yeah.
If you do it without familiar faces, it will not sell the same way.
And that's why. But it doesn't work for me to make those. Even though I get to try.
Right.
I so get to try, and totally would embrace to try myself. Try to write the game to include these other elements.
Right.
Try to add. So I really embrace the effort thing.
Yeah.
And that maybe alone would make me try the games.
Right.
So the NBA, the addition of the Kobe commentary, that, and then in the NFL, the whole storyline.
Right.
Just to investigate those would make me try.
Right. So what the thing was, I was talking about the features too, and you hit the nail on the head. By the way, the number one, Call of Duty, World War II. Number 1, list. Number 1. It just works. It just works. And because of the features, and that's the whole thing we're being, and we're in an environment now where everybody's going like, hey, this digs into what you would think is, I said, well, it's not dominated by male players. I know women who love this game, man. So
the fact that they're based on history adds something to the element, okay?
Right.
That makes it maybe less offensive for me, kind of. Because I don't think that it's glorifying the war in that sense, and that's what I'm afraid of.
Right.
But I don't think it is, and that's my issue. But again, it doesn't stop me from looking at it. It's just something to consider.
My number 2 for me, Destiny. Number 2. It is number 2 rated.
Our choices are exactly the same.
Yeah.
In the same order.
Yeah, that's it. Those 2 hit me after that.
You didn't like the Tom Clancy thing?
No, you know what no, I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying.
Tom Clancy one, which is down here.
Yeah, Ghost Recon. I like it. I'm not saying I don't. I don't know. I think the part that I like the multiplayer environment. I don't like prescribed solutions. There's certain things I like where they say the journey has not been prescribed where you have to have these solutions. It's done. It's ongoing. You know what it reminds me of, Mario? And I didn't watch any of these, but what women were talking about back in the day with soap operas. There was not a solution at the end of the show. It kept going.
Well, I think these are, for what I understand, That is very much a part of how almost all of these are being written now.
Right.
So we'd have to see.
Right.
We're not used to them, but I understand that that's part of the open-endedness
Right.
and the user interface.
Absolutely.
Or else, well, no. It's in there, we know, but you don't get to know what the different endings could be.
That's right.
They have multiple endings
Right.
that get to be affected by what, and
And
obviously
you
they're in there, but you don't know what they are.
Right.
And that's the way they get you today, that they get to surprise you.
That's right.
With the alternate ending.
There you go. I'm going to be doing a part 2 on this because I only hit the top 6, you guys. So you'll get a part 2 because the list contains 25 gamers. Also, the up and coming, those who are maybe game changers. Hey, man, I'm out. That was your hot picks.
I want to thank you all for tuning in and remind you that the rest of the week, we've got the full week waiting for you, the whole rest of the week. So we'll be there. And remember, we're here for you. Tuesday night, The Quiet Storm. Friday night, Music and Mary Jane, followed by the award-winning I, Victor. Be there, be square. Thank you, people. Thank you for being part of the revolution. Peace.
First off, I'm not your regular dude. I bust moves like a young MC. Yeah, sorta, that would be me. Got me thinking about putting down the mic one day. Then I get some more love. Thanks for the love you gotta play. Hey, what can I say? I'm a Leo to the finish, man. I love God, so my faith won't diminish me. Once I step up to the mic, I speak truth. Hip-hop wasn't designed to exploit the black youth, but somewhere along the lines, we dropped the ball, yeah. I mean, that man in the mirror, yeah, that ball dude. But now I'm back to right the wrongs of my past world. So let me mark this off my list like my name's Earl. Articulate my thoughts clearly like Professor Les. Do you remember Rap City with Deja and Les? I'm looking at the front door, bless the main source. You're full, yeah, wait till I hit you with the main course. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I'd rather listen to Tribe or shit alone. You like my raps, but really I write songs. I like to do it like this once in a while to show some versatility and make you all smile. It's been a long time coming, I know, I feel it too. The more I take a break, it's like the more I break through. With my timeless space boy funk, I'm on point. You bless this microphone every time I anoint the pen, the pad. I face the bad head on. Escape inside the music, see my diary's a song it's on. Till I write my next verse, then I go again. Into the studio, I feel I gotta flow again. This ain't just music to me, it's like my recipe. To be honest, it's more creative tranquility. This ain't just music to me, it's like my recipe. To be honest, it's more creative tranquility. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. They say they get me, I don't think they ever got me. My name's Kowalski, but they call me Kawasaki. Online I'm funds, but in real life I'm more like Chachi or Cola. I told you, I'm funky like granola. Bars, can't you see that I'm a star? Who pumps his own gas in the cold really fast? As I pass on your gold digging stash. I'd rather make my own money, not advance me loan money. Nope. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. So there you have it. Nobody's got my DNA. Nobody's got my DNA. Nobody's got